We look back at history and worship the ones who built empires brick by brick, year by year. They had genius, vision, and a lifetime of relentless struggle. But today, something quietly terrifying and beautiful is happening. Time itself is bending. What once took decades of trial and error can now be simulated, tested, and launched in weeks. Their struggle was survival in slow motion. Your reality is acceleration in real time. They had genius. You have genius. And AI tools like B12.io. The question is no longer, can it be built? But what will you dare to build now? Imagine Thomas Edison, hunched over his desk, testing filament after filament in the dim light of a failing bulb. No dashboards, no analytics, no instant feedback from a global audience, only darkness and guesswork. Think of the first industrial magnates, waiting months for a letter, years for expansion, and a lifetime for recognition. Every decision was a blind step into fog, with mistakes paid for in hunger, debt, and humiliation. Their struggle was not glamorous. It was exhausting, lonely, and brutally uncertain. They had no algorithm watching patterns, no AI drafting messages, no tool like B12.io designing their brand while they slept. What they had was time, long, unforgiving time, and the will to push through it. You, on the other hand, stand in an age where that same time can be folded, analyzed, and compressed into code. We like to believe genius is rare, a lightning strike granted to a chosen few. But neuroscience paints a softer, stranger picture. Patterns of attention, deliberate practice, and an obsessive relationship with problems. The old geniuses trained their brains through repetition and deprivation. Their environment forced them into focus. Today, your environment fractures your focus every second with notifications, noise, and infinite scrolling. Yet here lies the paradox. The same technology that distracts you can also amplify you if you learn to aim it. Tools like B12.io don't replace genius. They replicate the outcomes of disciplined genius at scale and speed. You no longer need to reinvent the wheel of branding, design, or digital presence piece by painful piece. You can plug into architectures that once took experts years to master and start at their finish line. In the past, to build a recognizable brand, you needed years of trial, error, and slow reputation. Each storefront, each poster, each product, another roll of the dice, another risk of failure. Today, algorithms simulate attention, test layouts, and predict engagement before your audience even sees you. B12.io and tools like it absorb decades of design choices, user behavior, and best practices into quiet lines of code. What a founder once learned only after a lifetime of mistakes, you can now access in an afternoon. Decades of what worked are compressed into templates, flows, and smart suggestions. This is not magic. It is data structured, modeled, and turned into leverage. The real mystery is not how the tools work, but why so many still choose to work as if they never existed. We were raised to believe that the value of our work is measured by how hard it feels. Sweat, sleepless nights, visible struggle, these became our proof of seriousness. But physics, biology, and economics all whisper the same truth. Systems, not suffering, create scalable outcomes. A well-designed system reduces friction. An intelligent tool removes entire categories of effort. With B12.io, building a digital presence stops being an endless technical maze and becomes a guided path. You still choose the destination, the story, the values, but the road no longer has to be paved by your confusion. This isn't about being lazy. It's about being precise with where you spend your finite life. The new discipline is not working harder, but refusing to worship unnecessary struggle. Deep inside every AI-powered tool is a quiet mystery. Your future behavior predicted before you live it. Data from millions of clicks, choices, and hesitations converge into probabilities about what you and your audience will do. B12.io does not just arrange pixels. It arranges expectations, attention, and trust. Psychologically, humans respond to patterns they barely notice: alignment, spacing, color, clarity. When an interface feels right, The brain relaxes, the guard drops, and curiosity steps forward. That feeling is not an accident. It is engineered from countless micro-observations of human behavior. You are not only using AI, you are collaborating with a model of how minds move through information. And in that collaboration, your ideas gain a body that is easier for the world to believe. A brand used to be a logo on a wall and a name on a product. Now, your brand is every digital footprint, each landing page, each email, each automated response. It is the feeling someone gets when they search you, click you, and silently decide if you are real. With AI tools like B12.io, you can orchestrate that feeling with a sophistication that once required entire teams. Automatic updates, adaptive layouts, integrated messaging, they weave a living narrative around your work. You are no longer just opening a business. You are curating an ongoing psychological experience. In this new frontier, speed matters not to rush, but to iterate, test, and learn faster than your hesitation. The ones who win will not be the purest geniuses, but the ones who most intelligently partner with their tools. Picture the icons of the past walking down a long, cracked road, carrying their ideas on their backs. Their steps are heavy, each failure a stone in their pockets, each delay a storm above their heads. They had to convince gatekeepers, publishers, bankers, broadcasters, just to get a chance to be heard. You stand at a different crossroads. There are fewer gates, but far more noise. Your challenge is not to beg for access, but to earn attention and sustain trust. B12.io can give you the structure, the polish, the clarity that used to require permission and budgets you don't have. The road in front of you is still hard, but no longer empty. It's lit by tools they never dreamed of. They had genius and a brutal road. You have genius, their lessons, and a highway of AI at your feet. Inside the modern entrepreneur, two voices wrestle in the dark. One whispers, "You must suffer as they did, or your success is not real." The other replies, "Use everything they never had, or their suffering was wasted on you." Psychology calls this cognitive dissonance, holding two conflicting beliefs about what you deserve. You want authenticity, but you also crave acceleration. You respect the past, but you refuse its limits. The healthiest path is not to imitate their pain, but to inherit their wisdom and add efficiency. When you choose tools like B12.io, you are not cheating history. You are honoring it by going further, faster. Your real work is no longer to fight the machine, but to decide who you will become with its help. You are living in a time where the distance between idea and reality has never been shorter. They had genius and a lifetime of struggle. You have genius, their lessons, and AI tools like B12.io to compress their decades into your days. Your responsibility is not to repeat their suffering, but to extend their legacy with the speed and clarity they never had. What if the greatest disrespect to those who struggled before you is not using the tools they never had? If this journey into time, struggle, and AI made you rethink what you can build, let it not end here. Like this video, share it with someone standing at their own crossroads, and subscribe.